Hello, dear friends. Here we are going to study a very important and fundamental topic, vectors. It will be used throughout 11th and 12th class. Now, as per the definition, vector quantities are those quantities which are described with magnitude as well as direction. Okay. Now, I suppose we have learned this concept in 9th class also. There are two types of quantities actually. First is scalar, which has only magnitude but no direction. Okay, like example meter, kg, second, joules. Suppose Ram has walked for 15 kilometers, okay, 15 kilometers to reach the coaching. He walks because he is 90 kg weighing, बहुत heavy है वो लड़का. He takes classes for 40 seconds. These are describing those scalar quantities. And he work out at gym for 20,000 joules of work. Okay, he spent that much of energy. These are only magnitudes, no direction they have. Okay, now vector quantities have both magnitude as well as direction. Suppose you say Ram goes towards north with 15 km/h. That means he goes towards north with a speed. Okay, now speed is 15 km/h and it has direction, so it is now vector quantity and which will be called velocity towards north. It has magnitude of 15 km and direction towards north. Now take another example. Suppose two people are pulling me. Suppose one boy pulls me from there and another from there, and they are simultaneously pulling me. Then somewhere I will move in between, okay, because that will be the result. You can imagine two people are pulling me and obviously I will go in between somewhere. Okay, so that is the resultant. It means vectors are to be added sometimes. Here we took an example of force, so that was the example of velocity. Now we will take an example of force. Suppose Aman is pulling me over here and we know this pulling towards this direction. Suppose Aman applies A force and we know it applies V force. So what will be the result? I will move somewhere in between. That means some law should be used to find this resultant vector or resultant force. Clear? Now we will discuss about that in next class. In detail you have to use two formulas which will be explained in the next class. Okay. Now suppose there is another example, uniform circular motion. You know, uniform circular motion is a motion in which speed is constant in circular motion. Suppose you rotate a stone tied with a string and you are horizontally rotating it, you will feel some force is applied on your hands because string is stretched outward. String is applying force, and that is because stone is rotating in this circle. Suppose this is horizontal circle. You are saying stone is in a uniform speed. If the speed is same, there is no acceleration. But why there is some force acted at my hand? Why there is some force that is pulling my hands towards outside? Because that is centrifugal force. Imagine, I said velocity is the vector. It has a speed of suppose say 10 meters per second in this direction at some point, and further it has 10 meters per second in this direction, again somewhere in this, somewhere in this direction. So you can see only magnitude is constant but direction is changing. So if direction is changing, it means the vector is changed because vector is made up of both magnitude as well as direction. Clear? Therefore, if direction is changed, here the only direction is changing, then it means the velocity is changed. There must be some acceleration, and that acceleration is centripetal acceleration. And the tension that is stretching my hands outward, it is actually because it is balancing it is providing a centripetal force. Centripetal force. Okay, that makes it revolve in circle. So you can imagine if a stone is moving in this direction, why it is changing the direction? Because someone is pulling, that is centripetal force towards the center. That's why it is always rotating round and round and round and circling about the center. Okay, now that is the phenomena of uniform circular motion is an accelerated motion. Why? Because only speed is fixed but direction changing. अगर direction change हो रही है, it means velocity is changing. Okay, so okay, let's take a snap of what laws are there. Suppose you say you are moving, again we come to the velocity. Suppose this time we have already talked about velocity. Let's take an example of displacement. Suppose you say you have walked for 4 kilometers toward east, then you walk 3 kilometers towards north. So these are basically displacements. Okay, you walk for 4 kilometers east first, then you turn towards north. So what is the displacement? Displacement is actually 5 kilometer. Use the Pythagoras theorem. 5 kilometer. What is the direction? 37 degree. So if someone is asking only the scalar, that is distance. Distance is scalar. Okay. What is the distance? Distance is simply 4 plus 3, 7 kilometers. Okay. So what is the displacement? You will say displacement is a vector. You will say it is 5 kilometer towards 37 degree east of north. Okay, sorry, north of east. Clear? 37 डिग्री नॉर्थ की तरफ जाओ, ईस्ट के 37 डिग्री नॉर्थ में जाओ, that is the direction. Clear? Now this is a vector quantity. Clear? Now there comes a law also. If two vectors are represented as two sides of a triangle in a order, what is order? This is the order. Then the resultant will be represented by the third side of the triangle in opposite order. What should be the next order? This should be this. So resultant is in opposite order. Resultant is the third side in opposite order. This is the resultant or equivalent displacement. Okay? I suppose you have learned this explanation very quickly, and so we'll cover it in the next chapter. Thank you.